So the Lions won. Yeah, 'cause we all seen that coming. I was like, if you didn't pick that, I mean, what you even doing? Do you even know football? Um. Anyway, not gonna talk about who I made. Anyway, what we're gonna talk about is the game, and it was. If you just see the score, I feel like it's misleading. Then when you watch the game, it's also kind of misleading at the same time. You would think that it was a game that was close, but not close all at the same time. Like, came out pretty much, Packer got a turnover. I thought it might be one of them games where I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be a real defense on defense game. Whoever is able to score points wins. It was kind of like that where Green Bay came out, that they defended the first thing. They only got like 3 points. Then after that, it really was over at that point. It got bad as far as like the I was like people were just open on Detroit side. It was like the running holes was open, and like like Montgomery didn't have like a crazy amount of yards in like the first like half. But those where he was running was like open a lot of the time. I was like it was like miscommunication on defense where it seemed like there was nothing. Like Goff got sacked a few times, but when you watch the game, it really wasn't as impactful or dramatic. Like the defense didn't really have a stamp on the game in that type of way. Um, it was just a bunch of just Detroit seemed like it was they line held up, or it was some bootlegs, or where they got Goff into movement, and they just ran Montgomery all through him and through the night. Um, I thought that they waited for the Packers to have Harley like half their line gone. They were doing they did a lot of dropbacks in a way that seemed like it's setting up down the field stuff, and they wasn't successful. They were getting crunched a lot. Like Jordan Love, it even when it seemed like he might have somebody there in that split second of time that you have because they're all just fast athletes on the field. He just had to basically just tuck the ball and just and eat the sack. He really didn't have uh he didn't really have time to do a lot of these down the field plays. And that's why it was weird that in the second half, they did a couple more screen. I was like, he ran the ball a lot more, but I thought that should have been sort of been the plan. Is that okay, we ain't got most of our line. Let's do a lot more screens or being like Love. If you once you drop back, if you don't see like 1-2, run. There were chances where he had chances to run, but you could tell he was still just like trying to look for somebody to throw it to, and those ends and stuff were just around him pretty much by the time he can even be like 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, they're in my face. That's really how it was. Um, yeah, no, the Detroit pretty much was sound on all levels here today. They pretty much was like, no, this is our game, this is our stamp, but this is our time to take it. That's what they really did against the Packers. Um, I don't think I was like because it was sort of the Lions game that I feel like everybody was like they needed to win. It doesn't really harp on the Packers for losing in that type of way. Um, and plus, like they had a chance to come back here. They actually did. They came out. They scored a touchdown in the second half right at the beginning, and almost looked like they were about to do it against the Saints. Um, then I was like, I was like, but Love threw an interception, and I think that really sort of squashed anything. Cause even they would have got like a field goal there, it would they end up getting a field goal later on, and that way there still was time in the game to score a touchdown. So him throwing that pick really messed up because they could have either got, I mean, yes, either they got a field goal or they got a touchdown, but getting some points on the board would have helped them have some momentum after they came out and they were ready to go, and that also would have stopped Detroit from this. Maybe not. I mean, maybe Detroit still goes on to score, but it puts you in a different predicament of like play calling and mindset when you're like, oh man, like they're only like down a touchdown. We gotta really score. We ain't gotta do all this other stuff. So they had a shot, they blew it. I was like, I don't think this. I was like, I don't think this really is a knock on Love. I was like, he ain't have. I was like, he was getting Watson and Jones back, which is why I thought they have a pretty good chance of winning the game. The line being messed up, you did not you could do, especially with the defense that Detroit pulling out. You got. I was like, they got a whole bunch of people that like you won't really know their names, except for probably Hutchinson and maybe Anzalone. And I was like, like of course they got like Gardner Johnson and Sutton and stuff like that, but I was like they were just wrecking shop. There was none of that. I think there was stuff they could have done, but by the time it got down to like towards the end of the game, I was like, it was a little too late to implement that stuff. But yeah, so Detroit coming out trying to extend that window between and taking that division. I was like, when it comes to them playing again later on this year, I think it's going to probably be a lot more closer game, because now you got, because pretty much Detroit, they got pretty much a lot of the same people from last year, so they're just building on their stuff. Whereas, like, Packers, they're still filling each other out, and also the defense always gets sort of better later on in the year anyway. So, I was like, this would be a game, like, sort of really, like, of course they're going to have a rematch of a divisional game. But I was like, it probably had more it had more stakes and it actually but I think both teams probably get into the playoffs. It just depends on who top notch. But I was like Detroit. They offense is running smoothly right now, and they defense is coming here to play. Anyway, recap of the game like this. I appreciate it. Thanks. If not, hey, maybe next time. But until next Thursday night, have a good one.